Hey everyone, Chloe here, and welcome back to this feminine platform, and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, as always, ladies and lurkers and ear hustlers, welcome. Now, I wanted to share my womanhood thoughts and to weigh in on a very important and a long overdue conversation on masculine responsibility between two black men that went viral and has pretty much launched and triggered every woman who has seen this conversation into orbit. Now, although I'll be sharing my thoughts, I will say that more of these conversations will need to be led by men, and these conversations will need to be mainstreamed and turned into actionable results so that both genders can suffer less. Now, for all of you mush mouth dusties and you red pill poppers who are ear hustling, feathers will be ruffled in this video and your feelings may get triggered, but you can go argue with your skid marks. But there is a lot of male psychology to unpack in this conversation as it pertains to the super sensitive topic of masculinity and provision. Now, unfortunately, but not surprisingly, this much needed conversation amongst men was met with a lot of resistance and a lot of defensive posturing. And for the insecure men who cannot provide, of course, this conversation would be triggering. But for those of you who have not seen the clip, take a listen and I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
Oh, I'm not a man if I'm going 50-50 with my woman. It's hard, brother. You sitting up here, your nice house, your nice jewelry, nice cars. Oh yeah, man, you gotta do 100%. How? How, brother? If I'm making $14 an hour, what you expect? You know, you still on there. Oh yeah, man, 100%. You're not a man. You're not a man. How? I'm still working. I'm still providing, right? So what makes me not a man? Because I'm going 50-50 with my woman.
And brother, I applaud you because I understand that it is hard out here, but we are men, so we have to go harder. I'm not saying or trying to speak down to you, my brother, by any means necessary. I'm not. But I want you to be reminded of something that our fathers didn't teach us, that we must go hard and that we shouldn't get into a relationship with a woman until we have direction.
But who are you to say that?
A person that cares, a person that loves you, a person that's been in your shoes and understands how it feels when we can't give our family what they truly deserve. We have to go hard. Now, give me one moment. I've been in your shoes. And when I was in your shoes, I stayed in my lane. I lived where I lived. My woman didn't work. She nurtured to the children till I got this. And I'm trying to give you the cheat code. Do what you need to do so you can feed your woman, and while she's nurturing the children, she can also nurture your dreams and your goals. Now you can be successful. Now you don't have to say, I'm working for $15. Now you can say, I got employees that I'm paying that's working for me for $15. I'm trying to elevate you, but men get so caught in their emotions and their pride, and the first thing you want to do is feel attacked. Get the wisdom.
This is coming from a rich man.
But right now you're acting triggered. But right now you're acting triggered.
But this is coming from a rich man.
But how did I get here?
Yeah.
But how did I give you? And I'm giving you the steps. This is, if you put down your ego, if you put down your pride, brother, am I saying anything wrong? I'm saying men should be men.
But you saying we not men. You saying we not men.
Brother, any man that makes an excuse can't be a man completely. You can be a male. A man comes with responsibilities, and it's hard. To be a man, it's hard, brother. It's not easy. That's why the respect you want from your woman that you don't get, I get from mine.
My woman respect me.
Hold on.
My woman respect me.
You think she respects you.
My woman respect me.
You think she respects you. You think she has she ever raised her voice at you?
No.
Does she cook for you every night,
brother? Of course.
So she respects you. Cooks for you every night. Does she clean the house?
Of course.
She cleans the house, and you got her working 16 hours a day. That sounds like slavery.
No, it's not.
Brother, you got her cooking every night.
I don't have her doing anything. She does it because she wants to. We in the trenches together.
The trenches together?
That's what we in.
Brother, do you know anything about emotional abuse?
Explain it.
Emotional abuse is when you pour all your hurt and pain onto a woman, and just because you can't see her scars, you think it's okay. If I had a conversation with your woman, she'll probably start crying. They tired. They not built to go through what they're going through with you.
Now, from Mr. Dirty Neck Braids and his very pathetic demeanor, his very tense defensive posturing, his unteachable spirit, and his very fragile glass ego are not uncommon amongst lower earning men. But clearly, for whatever personal reasons, this man is simply not ready to hear or to receive this invaluable game. And with most hard-headed people, this messaging will fall on deaf ears, as clearly, at least for now, this is a dusty hill that this man-child is willing to die on. He was so busy using his nunchucks to deflect, and he was listening to react. But a man's attitude, ladies, will always determine his altitude. So when his attitude is piss poor, that drip will be all over him. And no matter how many ways a Dusty will continue to argue about money, women are always going to respect men who 100% provide. And there just isn't any other way to pretzel twist the truth, as 99.99% of women are wired to be hypergamous. But with this man, pride and ego was eating him up, and he honestly looked like he was halfway ready to tussle and square up, as clearly a raw nerve was touched. But this was a missed opportunity for this broken little boy to gain some masculinity awareness, and on a basic level, this was a missed opportunity for him to understand the needs of his woman better. And clearly in this conversation, you can see who's the mature one and who's the defensive, broken little boy who had to play catch all by himself. A lot of men, particularly many black men, are not accustomed to this level of man-to-man and face-to-face assertiveness in terms of being challenged to level up their masculine divine. But when a man has no plan, ladies, he will always have a huge insecurity chip on his shoulder. And men who are defensive will usually play the ABCD game of accusing, blaming, criticizing, and denying versus being solution oriented. But this man-child emotionally has a lot going on, and he probably never had a healthy father figure in his life, and he needs to heal his relationship with money if he wants to be respected. Now, in many cases, men who hold this disposition of resistance more than likely will rather choose to listen to a whole bunch of echo chamber trash to validate and to reinforce their stuck in the basement mindsets and to keep themselves small and unenlightened instead of hitting the reset button in order to level up their manhoods. But when a man or a woman actively works against the laws of nature, they will typically pay big time in the long run. Now, in regard to this man-child bragging on his woman's work ethic, ladies, no man should feel comfortable bragging about slaving his woman. Men who brag, who openly brag about their women working harder than them, often do not realize how embarrassingly ignorant they sound, nor do they realize how out of pocket and how out of order they are. And this conversation is further proof that not everyone is going to be comfortable with accepting that they don't know as much as they thought they did. Because although he won't admit it, it is embarrassing to accept and to admit that you need your woman's income to survive and to get your needs met. At his big age, he's making a teenager's wage and he's become complacent. Mr. Dirty Braids has duped himself into the belief that his woman 100% respects him and that she's throwing roses at his feet. But I'm going to go out on a limb and call BS just on the strength of his defensive posturing alone, because a hit dog will always holler. And trust and believe, that same aggressively hostile defensive posturing that he is giving to this man, he more than likely is giving to his woman as well. And for the women who say that broke men should not marry or procreate, you are living in delusion, because what one high value woman won't do, a pick-me will. The reliable Dustianas, the fixer-upper pick-me's, and the low-hanging fruit are sadly the women who like to nurture, baby, and coddle to a fault. And they are the women who make it okay for many men to be complacent about aiming low and complacent about where they're at on the provision scale. Pick-me women are the masters at playing themselves small to accommodate tiny men until they themselves get fed up with the excuses and the bare minimum muling, and of course, after they are taken for a most dusty ride. Also, in fairness to the pick-me's out there, some women really don't know that they are overcompensating in their romantic relationships because many women are groomed to see men as the prize, and they are typically groomed to naturally give more in relationships at their own expense and until they are depleted. Now, I get that the socioeconomics of the dating and marriage marketplace can be frustrating. No, every man is not going to be rich. This is about having a particular masculine mindset, a healthy masculine mindset that is complementary to the feminine divine. But another point that I'd like to share with women is that you cannot shame a man into earning a bigger bag, as a man's ambition and drive can only be internally motivated. Ladies, it has never been the feminine divine's job to course correct or to steer the ship of the masculine divine. One, because it is exhausting and draining as hell. Two, because men hate backleading or nagging of any kind, which frustrated women who are in this dynamic tend to do. Now, in conclusion, human beings in general do not like course correction because course correction means having to look in the mirror, and it means admitting to being flawed, and it takes an open mind and an open heart to want to change that. But on a positive note, I will say that I am always happy to see a man having these conversations with other men and that this message was not wasted, because the right eyes and the right spirit who is ready to learn from this message will grow from this message and will be inspired to break generational curses, because everything in life is better for a man when he can provide for himself and his family. And on a feminine note, I pray for every feeble-minded man who has allowed the shackles of his low self-esteem to keep him small and dependent upon his woman. So to get this conversation started, ladies, what are your thoughts about this conversation? And does every man deserve love in spite of his financial stature? And as always, I thank you for listening, I thank you for watching, and I thank you for subscribing. And please share if you care to further grow our feminine community. And as always, please stay tuned for more videos to come, and I will catch up with you ladies and lurkers and ear hustlers in the next one.
I have been a single mom for all of 2 years, and I have to say, I hate it here. I don't hate being a mom. I don't hate having kids, but I hate the fact that I only had two options. Either stay in an unhealthy, dysfunctional relationship or do it all on my own. And see, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I did the cooking, the cleaning. I was a primary person in charge of taking care of the children. And here I thought that that was a totally different category than being a working mom. As a working mom, I'm literally still doing all of the same stay-at-home mom shit, just on a different schedule. But now with the added mental stress load of how do I pay every bill by myself? And that's not even the part that frustrates me. The kicker is that this is culturally normal and even embraced, that if you're a single mom, you're just going to struggle and that's it. Like, I could be on the brink of a mental breakdown, literally underwater, telling people, like, I do not know how to make this better. And someone will ask me, what's wrong? Are you okay? No, I'm not. And the response is, well, you know, it's hard out here for everybody. And I get it. We all have our challenges. We're all going through our own struggles. But why is it culturally normal for this to be the only other option? Like, at this point, I'm about to start dating other moms to see who wants to co-mother together. Because the fact that we're all just isolated but going through the same exact challenges at the same time just feels ridiculous.